Come on and shine, shine, shine. Las Vegas, shine your light on me.
Welcome to Las Vegas Tonight with your award-winning host, Dale Davidson. Dale interviews fascinating guests from top-ranked celebrities to people just like you who have an important story to tell. For more than 15 years, Dale has broadcast every week from the fabulous Las Vegas Strip. He finds the people who really make Las Vegas a one-of-a-kind city and lets the world know just what's happening in this remarkable town. You'll discover why 50 million people visit the entertainment capital of the world every year. Stay tuned for another exciting episode of Las Vegas Tonight.
Good afternoon and good evening wherever you are. Welcome to the Las Vegas Tonight program. I am your host, Dale Davidson. We are amazingly enough in Las Vegas, and we have a fantastic guest. You're going to be really glad that you tuned in. Her name is Her Royal Highness Princess Anne Marie Thor Nelson. You don't have that each and every day on this show or any other show. A princess. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're most kind. Thank you.
We appreciate your coming on. And you're a Las Vegan now. We'll get to your backstory here in a little bit.
Yes, I am.
You've been here how long now in Las Vegas?
I've been here roughly since 2007.
2007. Let's talk a little bit about how one becomes a princess, because I think that's probably the first thing on their minds. Tell us a little bit about your connection to Denmark and to the Netherlands and how this all happened.
Well, very simply put, it's where your crib is.
That's right.
Yes,
you did a wonderful job being born into royalty.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes. In my case, both mother and father were of royal descent. Both have passed, but my father outranked my mother, and it is ranking.
Oh, it is.
Yes,
okay.
It is. It was Dutch, and it is Danish, and so my father being a prince, my mother being a baroness. That means that my father outranked my mother,
right.
And so that means that's where it became more of a Danish princess.
Okay.
And it, we're not in competition.
Right.
We're very friendly with each other. Yes, we really do like each other, and but that really is how it goes.
Yes.
Take for example, for the longest time in the Netherlands, we've had queens.
Right.
And each and every, and in Denmark, we have a queen.
Oh yes, yes.
And well, let's take England. We have a queen right now. But right now we have a king for the first time in a long time in the Netherlands.
Really? Okay.
When you're a queen that is reigning over a country, the husband is never a king.
He is a consort, correct?
The royal consort.
Right.
Okay. And in Denmark, her husband didn't like that very much.
Really?
Yes. So unfortunately, when he passed, before he passed actually, he requested not to lie down in the grave with his wife.
Really?
He was very upset. So
Really?
they won't be playing cards or anything in the next life.
In eternity, they're not going to
No.
be pals.
Now let's take England.
Yes.
So England, whom by the way also, he's Danish.
Yes.
He had to give up all his names.
I heard that when he passed. I read the history, and in order to be married to her, he had to give up his other titles.
Yes, and he had to take on a fictitious name. Actually, Mountbatten is a fictitious name.
Oh,
It's
okay.
actually a German name that just turned into.
Well, it's the same with the Windsors. That's fictitious.
Correct. That's also a
Yes,
fictitious name.
yes.
Lovely names that they make up.
It's great, yeah.
Well, here's the thing. When you're royal, you don't have a surname.
Oh, okay.
Really, you don't. You know, you have to identify when when you're living by yourself, you have to identify you are Dale and you are David's son. So you are the son of David.
That's where that
Isn't that
comes
lovely?
from.
Yes.
It is nice.
Yes.
You're going to
And
be son of somebody. That would be a good one.
that'd be nice, right? and from the Berg, so we're from the mountain, And so that's how, Smith, from someone who was a smith, so that's how that works. Now, here we go back to Philip. Now, Philip was very cross because he had always had to be 8 steps back behind his wife. Now, let me tell you, Vikings are not easy men. And sometimes they can be very difficult to tame. And so what did she do? She made him a prince.
Oh,
IWD, get on your knees. By the way, that was a big thing. When she was crowned, we just 70 years, she was 25.
I know, it's astonishing.
Bless her heart.
That she's still the queen is amazing.
She's a very strong lady.
Yes.
Very strong lady. But when she had to put up a big fight because she had to ask him and beg him, kneel in front of me. You're not kneeling in front of me as a wife, you're kneeling in front of me
the monarch.
as the monarchy, So you have, these problems. But now we have in the Netherlands, we have a king. But his wife is not a royal.
Really?
Maxima is from Argentina.
Oh, okay.
And they really fell in love. And he kept it a secret, actually, that he was a prince.
Really?
When they were courting.
This is like a movie.
Oh, exactly.
A romantic movie.
Absolutely. They were.
What a great story.
It was,
Yes.
Oh, he was a smarty pants. And so, but you see, he really wanted to have someone that was really in love with him. And the funny thing was, when she found out, she had to learn the language. Everybody fell in love, actually, with Maxima. She's very, very well liked in the Netherlands. She
That's
has 3
nice.
daughters, so now we're going to have Queen again. But guess what? Now we have Queen Maxima.
How did that happen?
Well, he's a king.
He can do what he wants.
It's like playing chess, I mean, it's like, okay. But but this is how it really goes. So now she's Queen Maxima, but she had to go through a lot of training.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Really?
boy, is that intense training.
I'll bet. Let's speak to that for a second, if you don't mind. You've done a lot of training in that area yourself.
Yes.
And still do, I believe.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about the etiquette training that you have established, and why is that important in the 21st century?
Most important thing that we're seeing right now is anger. We're seeing an amount of impatience. We're seeing anger that is coming forward. We're seeing dismay, great amount of dismay, and we're seeing so much unhappiness on all levels. It is on from the children to the elderly, everything in between, on all pay scales. What we need to do is you have to go back to the basics then. You have to go to your please and thank yous, the may I's, and I'm sorry, and that type of thing. Now, what I have done, this has been, of course, since day one, etiquette was, oh my goodness.
Inculcated in your life.
Yes,
Right.
and very, very sensitive to all cultures. We have to be always very sensitive to what might be offensive to another culture. And you must always remember that. So you must always be briefed or read it up real quick. Whom are you going to have dinner tonight? Or whom, you're going to be at a party, who are you going to run into? And, read up on the culture, the latest news, that type of thing. That is exactly the way it was for me, at least.
Okay.
And that's what I do. Before I attend anything, it's study time. My provost taught me exactly what is extremely important, and more or less a 30-second executive summary. But
So you know how to converse.
yes, exactly.
Yes.
If somebody starts speaking about something and I am sitting there and I don't know what to answer, it really doesn't look good. Now, that doesn't mean if they ask me a question and I don't know the answer, that I am going to make up a story or that. No, it's perfectly acceptable to say, wow, that never thought about that. I haven't heard about that. You know, could you tell me more? Or let me look into that and I'll get back to you. That is perfectly acceptable.
Okay. Okay. Now, but you became an instructor, if
Yes.
you will, in the fine arts of these kinds of things. Why was there a market for it? There obviously was. People needed help. And what I found interesting in your biography when I studied it before our meeting here today is you started with some underprivileged children
I did.
and taught them etiquette. Tell me why you did that. It's very admirable that you did, but tell me why you did that.
Every child wants to be the best. And whether they're born with a silver spoon in the mouth or whether they're born with a plastic spoon in the mouth, it has no difference. When they see something that they like, they're going to want it and they're going to copycat it. And what I noticed was that I had a following, and it could be in a classroom, or it could be on the street, or it could be. And so what happened was I had these children personally coming up to me, or I had them from the school coming up to me. And then people asked, well, would you mind teaching, my children? I noticed that they talked to me about this, and I really would like very much if you could help me. The other thing is, on the other side, I had dignitaries that said, I'm having a hard time. Would you please? Ambassadors, families that were...
They weren't quite sure what to do.
No.
Okay. And they were upset about it or worried about it or thought at a state dinner they'd used the wrong fork or whatever it was. Yeah, that would be nerve-wracking.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And it's most difficult when you're sitting with a complete beautiful set and you don't know what to start with. And they're looking at you and I'm like,
Always start at the outside, right? Work your way in.
Correct.
Yeah.
But the looks on their faces when they receive the compliments, it's better than an allowance. It's I can't. You're most what a little gentleman you are, or something like that.
Yes, they love that.
And they come up to me and they're like, oh, I received a compliment the other day with the thing that you taught me. And it's like, oh my goodness, isn't that just wonderful?
That's great.
Yeah. And then they want to know more and more, and and that's very inspirational.
It is. You spent a good part of your life, aside from your profession of being a dentist, which I want to get to and talk about in a minute here, but you spent a good part doing charitable works. Is that common among royalty?
Yes.
Common in your country?
Yeah, well, in all of them.
Yeah.
Every princess, every prince has the favorite charity.
Yes. Yes.
You saw Princess Diana. She liked, for example, to help with the demining. She
Yes,
did a
I
lot
know.
of that.
Yeah, the landmines.
She went to a lot of the children that in Africa, and she took care of them, helped them with the malnutrition and things like that. Where you would really like to put your effort in, for example, Queen Maxima, her favorite is Girl Scouts.
Oh, that's a nice charity to
Yes.
have. Sure, sure.
So for me, I'm a Templar, and
I want to talk about that in depth, and you have something maybe you'd show us. But she has a connection to the Knights Templar, so we'll discuss Jerusalem and the Crusades and all that sort of thing. In just a minute, we need to take a brief break. We'll be back with the princess right after this. Hi, I'm Dale Davidson, host of Las Vegas Tonight. You know, radio has an enduring place in the heart of America. Sometimes it's music that can enliven your spirit or keep you company when you need some. More often for me, it's just been the right spoken word or two that can quiet my mind and soul. Radio brings me a reassuring word in the quiet of night or a welcoming voice early in the morning as I shake off the night's sleep and find my way into God's purpose for my day. And always, I find the best radio station is the one that brings me the best news, the gospel of Jesus Christ. My favorite radio station is KKVV in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's still right where it's been for years, at 1060 on the AM dial, hovering over Sin City like a gospel airship, broadcasting the good news of the abounding love that Jesus Christ has for every single one of us. No matter who you are or where you live, you can receive God's Word via the KKVV Gospel Airship. Just go to kkvv.com and click on Listen Live. KKVV is using all the tools that God's provided them, like podcasting and video streaming and video on demand, to produce programs that lift up our fellow believers and save the lost. If you feel a calling to speak to others about Jesus Christ on your very own show, pick up the phone and call the station. They'll be happy to tell you how. Call KKVV today at 702-731-5588 or drop them an email at kkvvradio@hotmail.com. Please join me in becoming part of the KKVV family. You'll be glad you did. Now, aren't you glad you're tuned in to Las Vegas Tonight? I'm your host, Dale Davidson. How often do you have a princess in your living room? We got one of those for you right now. Princess Anne Marie Thor Nelson is just a fascinating lady, and she's had some wonderful things to say for us, and we appreciate your being here again.
Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about the Knights Templar and how you're associated with that. The Crusades are a magnificent story. Tell us how you're related to the Knights Templar.
Well, my father was one, and it does normally trickle down through the family. Mm-hmm. It originally was a French beginning, so our title is a Chevalier.
Yes.
Okay. Chevalier. And 1099 AD was the original date that in the time 1998 is when I became a dame. And again, this is also ranking. So
yes.
Now I'm a dame.
Which is the female equivalent of sir, right?
Well,
or
it's
a
knight.
A knight.
A knight.
Okay. Yes.
Yes. So so now my rank is I'm a Dame Commander, Temple Jerusalem, so a DCTJ.
Okay.
So you have alphabet behind your
You have lots of letters behind your name. Boy.
Yes.
That's an honor. How do you keep track of them all? We're not sure.
It's absolutely not. It's not. It's just a lot of fun. But no. Actually, it's a very nice. The Templars is a gathering that. As you know, we're the Crusaders. We protect the Holy Lands.
Right.
Okay. And we do actually have pilgrimages that go to Jerusalem.
Oh, okay.
And they're tough. They're not easy. This is not, we're going to, have a little bit here and then we're going to stop and have a cup of coffee. No, we really do, travel and we visit the orphanages. It is all on our own money. We don't ask anybody else for any help. Mm-hmm. And we have orphanages that we help through. These children are being subsidized through us.
Yes.
And we keep track of them.
And,
that's nice. And it's really a delightful thing. Now, remember, St. Anne's in Las Vegas.
Right.
It's very interesting. Their mascot, the Crusaders.
Wow.
Yes. Somebody did their homework. And because St. Anne's is what we actually bought back from the Muslims. We bought it back, and that is the birthplace of the Holy Mary. And we also believe her mother, Anne, was also born there. They didn't move around that much.
In those days.
In those days.
Yes.
And they built a church around it. So we protect these areas very nicely. But we have periodically what is called a convent, and then the investiture is when we have a new postulant come in. A new postulant would be a knight or a dame.
Right.
And then they are dubbed a knight with a sword. I did not receive a sword.
Why not?
Well, I received 3 kisses. 1, 2, 3.
That's almost as good as a sword.
Well, they didn't do that for me. I didn't go on my knees, but it was prior of St. King Charles the Martyr, and that is in D.C. Rear Admiral Carey was the one in charge there. Since then, I've been taken into, they're all priories. So they're all divided into priories. And so I belong now to another priory, and it's here, Priory of Our Savior. Now, there are many types of Templars. Constantine, you have so many different ones. I belong to the Sovereign Military Order of Temple of Jerusalem, and what we do is we break it down to priories all over the world. And the only thing, when they have a convent, only thing I have to do is I bring my sash, my accolades, and I have a cloak that we all wear. We all have it. And I'm a little older because I'm from 1998. The newer ones have the cross patay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And I have, it's more like this one.
Okay.
I have the Orthodox cross on mine.
Double
yes.
cross, yes.
But you can attend then all over, and they're very nice functions because we get together and we learn about problems that are happening that you don't hear about on the news, and then we take care of it on our own. And that's what it is. The Knights Templar is it's Christian, so you have to believe in Jesus. It's not any one religion.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the thing, and we're not the Masons.
That's good.
That's the other thing. So, because what happened was 1099 and 1118. There's that gap. And there was a pope that thought that we had committed heresy. So what happened? Everybody scattered. Some went to England, and there is another type that they are the Masons. So you must understand there are many different ones.
The Knights Templar are believers in Jesus.
Well, they are too, but they're also the Masons.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
So the specific thing about the one that the SMOTJ is that we are non-denominational, and we're not the Masons. So, so that's something that I'm very, very fond of, and I like to attend those. And do you find that people with the same thought pattern usually attend these type of things?
Right.
Each and every priory has their own charity.
Oh, okay.
For example, So Much Comfort is a charity I really am fond of. It is for veterans and people who have amputees or have problems with getting normal clothes on. We have seamstresses that Velcro so they can put on their pants and wear normal clothing and make it especially for them. So SCW, Much Comfort.
Oh,
So that's
okay.
one. And then we have Tender Loving Canines, another one. And those are the specific dogs that are trained for post-traumatic stress syndrome, and also autistic children and other children, other people with needs. Each dog is about $40,000.
Wow, wow.
Yes, but let me tell you, these dogs are exquisite. We had 2 Labradoodles, Roxy and Solar, and they were at one of our gathering. You know, it's not a cocktail party, but gathering, and there was food on the table, and you know they're rather big, huh? And don't think for a moment that they ever sniffed or looked or anything. No,
They were so trained.
They were so trained. Oh, absolutely. And those are wonderful charities to belong to, and it's a great thing, you know, to be a part of.
Was it inculcated in you as a princess, as a child, that you were to give your life to others in that sense, and to have charities,
Yes.
and to do raise money and do whatever you needed to do to help people? Was that part of it?
Yes.
Yes.
It's very hard for me to take. No, it is. It's very.
She likes to give.
Yes.
Taking is a problem.
Taking is really, when people do things for me, it's a bit awkward, and you know, I'm very gracious, I'm very thankful, but I've been trained to give. Isn't that nice?
That is. You're the one.
Yes. It's a wonderful feeling, you know.
Yeah.
Even if it is just giving somebody just a smile, you know, that they have a laugh or something like that, changing, you know, their demeanor or their attitude, or something like that, wishing them a good day, or a little small talk, you know.
Sure.
I mean, you don't know how far that ripple effect could go. You know, it doesn't have to be monetarily. It doesn't have to be, you know, any type. It's intangible is fine too.
Yes.
You know, but
And we need more of that, certainly. And as you led off the conversation here today, we're split, we're divided as in the United States like I've never seen it before. And everything is political, you know?
well, the thing is, everybody has to remember that everybody has the same feelings, and if you would just treat the same person, one the same as the other, you can't imagine what you receive back. You know, I have everybody that is around me, where I live, on all levels, I treat the same, and I do little things. Sometimes, you know, they're so appreciative, you know, even because you never know who came before you.
That's
you know,
true.
There might have been some kind of Scrooge that came before you, and you know, and here you come along, and you know, oh, well, you just made my day, you know, something like that, and you know, and that's just very nice. So,
Yes. And you don't know what people are suffering through at any given moment.
Exactly.
And you have to be kind to them just because you don't know, and probably never will. But they might remember you very fondly for that very reason.
And that's where your etiquette also comes back.
Oh, does it? Yeah. Yeah.
It really is. It's because etiquette. It really is. You know, get your thank you notes out within 24 hours.
Yes.
I mean, you know, when you learn how to fly, it's another thing. I'm a pilot. You know, when they teach you how to fly, we're not going to teach you how to fly straight and level. And oh yeah, isn't that lovely? Oh look, there's a house. No, each and everything that they teach you is an emergency procedure.
Yes.
It's going to be a ruckus every time. They're going to make it a ruckus because they want to prep you for when everything goes cattywampus. Yes.
Yes. And
right?
how are you going to deal with that? Yeah.
So what I teach is what happens when everything fails or when everything goes amiss. You have to fall back on things.
Yes.
Yeah. You have to know your 5 Ps. You have to know your 3 Bs. You have to know as soon as you leave your house, it's lights, camera, action. You're always being watched, eyes and ears, walls of ears. You know, so, and that's what I teach the children. My children went to St. Anne's.
Oh, really?
And I was a spelling coordinator, spelling bee coordinator.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Mr. DeBerti, who does the fences here,
Yes.
was the one that gave the nice scholarship for 1 year to Bishop Gorman. I was 4 out of the 5 years I was champion, not me, the child.
The child that you were sponsored.
But,
Yes.
but the nice thing about it is that I was teaching the children also etiquette. I was teaching them their emergency procedures so that they wouldn't lock up on stage.
Oh, yeah, when the time comes. Yes.
Because of fear and
Yes.
things like that.
It's the number one fear. People are really afraid of public speaking. Yeah.
Oh yes. And, you know, no hands in pocket. Absolutely no pockets. You might as well just sew them closed. No, we don't do that. No.
Yes.
And girls, never cross your legs. Absolutely not. The legs are supposed to be undertucked. And, you know, boys, we never put your foot up. You know how men cross the foot up?
Yes.
That is an insult in certain countries.
Really?
Yes, because you're showing the bottom of your shoe, which might have
Who knows
nonsense
what?
underneath. Yes, exactly. And so I said, no, absolutely not. You go like this, or you're allowed to do this. And so on stage, St. Anne's always looks extremely polished, and then roll a coin, and down the scene, and they did an excellent job, and I was very proud of them. And I said, you all looked very, very good, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I bet you they were honored to have you there too, you know.
Yes.
I want to talk a little bit about, we're going to take another brief break here shortly, and I want to talk about several things I need to cover. One's Audrey Hepburn. The other is what happened on the airplane. And
We might want to cover that one first, otherwise
okay, we'll
think
do that.
something else.
We'll do that first. We have one more segment, so stick around. You're not going to want to miss what the princess has to say about all the things we promised to tell you. We'll be back right after this.
Across the ages, humanity is often gathered in prayer, especially in times of crisis and need. It's a natural response, but who are we speaking to? Is prayer merely a platitude or emotional cliche? Yahoo! Or is there a God on the other end of the line? And if so, can we speak to him? And what is he saying? What exactly is prayer? Theologian John Piper describes prayer as intentionally conveying a message to God. He also outlines 3 main approaches to prayer, which each depend on how you view God. If your perspective is that God is in everything and everything is God, including you, me, the sunrise, the humpback whale, the smoke lightly wafting from a well, you get the picture. Prayer from this perspective is all about connecting with the divinity within us and around us. The only problem is that if we are part of God, prayer can feel like a one-sided conversation. If you feel like God exists, but he's distant and unapproachable, then prayer can become about developing special techniques or higher levels of devotion and holiness in order for our words to reach God's ears. Hello. Or we just give up trying. However, when you read the Christian Bible, God shows himself not to be distant or silent, but to be personable, accessible, and a creator who speaks. In the creation story, we see him literally speak each created thing into existence, as if to open an external conversation with his creation. Howdy. And throughout the Bible, he consistently speaks to humanity. So if God speaks, how do we speak to him? A big part of God's conversation with humanity was the person of Jesus, who God sent to earth as the human manifestation of himself.
Thank you very much.
So that he could talk to us directly. The Bible literally refers to Jesus as the Word, God's Word. And he gave a direct answer when his friends asked him about how to speak to God. Jesus says prayer is simply and honestly talking to God. If something is on your mind, if there's a situation where you don't know what to do, you can talk to God about it. You don't have to pray in a church, and you don't have to sound religious. God loves you and wants you to be real with Him. You can pray out loud. You can pray silently. He listens wherever and whenever. So how do we hear God? God's voice is described in the Bible as a still, small voice. Many people hear back from God by quieting the noise around them and pausing to listen. Or by reading the Bible, which God also calls His Word. The more you talk with someone, the more you get to know who they are. The God who speaks has started the conversation. If you haven't spoken in a while, why don't you try to pick it up again? It could change your life.
I'm the lucky one because I get to sit right next to the princess. Princess Anne-Marie Thorne Nelson is here with us, and she's been fascinating.
Oh, thank you so much.
It's true. It's true.
I'm
Okay,
humbled.
what happened on the airplane? I'm supposed to ask you that. I'm not sure what happened, but please tell us.
Well, I was a bit premature, and I came a little too early, and I believe my mother might have had a bit of an anxious time on a flight coming from Amsterdam and going to JFK,
Right.
so Schiphol to JFK, and it was over international waters. Not the Bermuda Triangle. I don't think so. No.
Because you're here,
Yeah,
so
yes.
it probably wasn't the triangle.
No, but what happened was that's actually my birthplace. So it was Pan Am, and it was a very
International airspace, you're an international citizen of the world.
yes, isn't that lovely?
It is.
Yes,
It was
yes.
supposed to happen.
And so I had quite a welcome committee, and they were ready to go. And as soon as they landed, I and my mother and I were, of course, ushered to a very lovely hospital called Queen's General.
Oh, really? Perfect.
I know,
Perfect
isn't that
name.
nice? Generally speaking, so I yes, that's really what happened, and I think my mother really didn't like the airplane,
Yes.
DC-10s too much because of that. She always said, I don't like DC-10s. Flying. Okay. Well, it's
We
all
won't
right.
take that plane then.
Yes, but that's okay.
We're pretty sure you're not going to have another baby.
No, we're perfectly fine. But no, that was actually what happened, and so it was quite that's probably the only reason why I'm not early. I'm always kind of tardy. Because that was the only time I was early. That was such a shock. It's like,
You're
heavens.
making up for that.
Yes, I'm like, heavens, no, we're not going to do that again. No.
Once is plenty.
Yes.
And tell us about Audrey Hepburn,
Well,
who has been in love with for many, many years.
Audrey Hepburn. Audrey Hepburn. Many people. So Audrey Hepburn, UNICEF was her
charity. Yeah.
And she loved Danny Kaye. Most people don't know actually that Audrey Hepburn speaks beautifully Dutch.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, and she's actually a great aunt of mine.
Oh, I
Yes.
didn't know that.
And so the fun thing about it is that she was a ballerina. She was very, very good on toes, and she was a very good dancer. Kept herself always impeccably thin.
Yes.
But her mother and my grandmother were sisters.
Oh, that's neat. That's neat.
And so, but the lovely thing is that she never really told anybody that she was a baroness.
Really? I didn't know that. Oh, that's very interesting.
We don't really like to flaunt it around, and we don't really like, we don't walk around, with crowns on our heads and things of that nature. But she was such a kind soul, and she was also very giving, and she had a playful side, kind of like me, and she likes to, maybe have a little bit of fun. But yes, no, she was really a very lovely lady, and she speaks excellent, perfect Dutch.
Oh,
So-
that's sweet. I didn't
Yes.
know. Learned lots of things here today, and that's one of them.
Yes.
Let's talk about dentistry. How did you decide that you wanted to be a dentist?
Well, I was always good with my hands. I have little, small hands, long fingers, but small hands. And I always liked something in medicine. I like making people feel better about themselves.
Right.
But I also like jewelry, that type of thing. The medical, it was a little bit of everything together. I
There's
think it
gold
was,
involved.
frankly, it's nothing better than a gold. Gold crowns are really the best.
They're beautiful.
Well, they are the best. Plaque doesn't adhere to them. The bacteria cannot, stick to them. They fit the best. They're the softest for your antagonistic teeth. It's all in all. Gold it's just not pretty, but they are really. Gold. Yes, but nobody wants that. So we're on now to zirconia. Beautiful. They look just like your own teeth.
Yes.
So
yes.
we're far past that. But no, it was so important that people had good teeth, because it's so important when you cannot enjoy your food.
Yeah.
You're sitting in birthday parties, celebration, what have you, and you cannot even have, ice cream or, something like this. Mm-hmm. And it is, a very, very good part of your health.
Sure it is.
So I think if you can get the people to be less afraid and understand that part, then I think everybody would be going a little bit more often to the dentist.
They need to. I've had two friends, and these instances were far apart, but they both suffered strokes because they had abscesses in their teeth. They wouldn't go to the dentist. They were so afraid. And then that traveled and created a blood clot, and bad things happened to them because of it. So it's, as you say, it's an important part of your overall health.
That
Isn't
and
it?
your heart, yes. It's it's so important. And like I told you, I can't turn it off. It will always be a big part, of me.
You notice my Invisalign.
Yes, I noticed. I noticed your Invisalign, and it's a great way also to stop the clenching and the grinding at night.
Yeah.
Because people are so stressed nowadays because of financial problems, maybe problems, loss of family. You don't know, they're
What
worried.
they're suffering through, yeah.
There's a lot more of clenching and grinding. If you ever notice somebody standing in line and you see this muscle in their
Clenching.
yes, that's
Yeah.
called the masseter. They're doing that. That's their little fulcrum. They're clenching and they're grinding. It's 150 pounds of pressure. You have to. If you ever bit on your tongue, it's really
I've done it more
painful.
than once. It hurts.
Oh yes, that is extremely a great amount, And when this gets so sore, oh boy, it can travel, and it's so painful.
Yeah.
So if you can relax that at night, you get a better sleep, and that's the best thing you can do. So Invisalign is actually a very good invention, because it actually prevents the teeth also from moving back, but also movement, a new movement, because what happens, that pound of pressure makes also teeth move to a new place.
Yes, yes.
As you know, because you're constantly,
Which has been my problem, which is why we're fixing it. Yeah. Yeah.
and then you have an imploded bite. You know, because your front teeth start moving out, and you know everything starts collapsing.
Wow.
So it's kind of like wheel alignment from your car,
That's right.
and then
It's
your
the
steering
same.
wheel starts to shake.
And we don't want that to happen.
No.
Something bad will happen.
Yes, no.
But you're not practicing dentistry right now?
No.
You've stopped that? Yeah.
No, I'm not practicing anymore. But like I said, I am still involved with a practice. I'm still involved with a nice colleague, and I like putting continuous education courses together.
Yes.
I think it's very important to continue with teaching, you know, the general practitioner about implants and new things that we're doing.
Oh,
and
sure.
So
Well,
I
that's
stay on top
fascinating.
of that.
Yes.
Yes. So
Had I known you then, I would be telling people, I'm going to my princess dentist today.
well, that's very nice. Oh, thank
I'd be
you.
so proud.
Oh, that's very nice.
Let's talk a little bit about your faith, and then I'm going to ask you to talk to our audience about that. I know you're a Christian lady, and it informs your life. Tell me why belief in Jesus Christ is important to you personally.
Really, you can't do anything without him. Just because I was born in a royal family, that really is just here on earth, and it's really nothing when you leave this earth. And it can be actually very difficult when I go day to day and I feel alone. The very lonely days at times. And when I have to tackle something that is very complicated, I always say before, Lord, be with me.
Yes.
I say very quietly, you know, or I say, you know, Lord Jesus, you know, help me. You know, it's a very small thing before I do something. Stand by me. I have a problem, you know, something like that. So I always ask for advice, and I always ask for assistance and guidance. And it has, no matter what hat, I wear so many hats. That's how best way to, you know, put it.
You certainly do.
But you know, no matter what I do, I am never alone then. Because, you know, I always want to make sure that he is, you know, with me, and he helps me make good decisions. You know, I'm having a very big decision, and I need your help.
Yes.
You don't ask for a new car. You don't ask for, you know, I'd like to live somewhere else. This is really getting it's terrible, you know. Hey, you know, no, you don't say stuff like that. No. But you say, Lord, you know, I need some guidance here.
Yes.
You need, you know, this is what you asked for, you know, and I need some guidance. I need some strength. You know, I need. I'm wearing thin. I need, you know, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So, you know. And I need some advice. I need, please speak to me. You know, please help me, and he does.
That's wonderful. Would you mind taking just a couple of minutes and addressing the audience and ask them to follow you and me and all other Christians in joining, you know, the best royal family there is?
Okay. I think the best thing that you can do is to remember that we are all together in the same realm, and we're having the same issues, no matter what we are doing and no matter where we are. And it is very important to think of yourself as this is going to pass. It is going to get better. This is not something that is going to remain the same, and always think positive. My best thing that I do for myself, even if it's really a bad day, is I remember all the blessings that I do have. And really that's the best thing that everybody can do. Even the smallest thing. You don't know how important it is. And when you find a blessing, then keep it close to your heart, and then the next one will happen, and the next one will happen. But you're never alone. You're always, the Lord is there with you. It doesn't matter who you are. He's with me, He's with Mr. Davidson, and He's with all of you. And you have to remember that you're never alone. And don't be afraid to just even say the littlest thing. Lord, please help me. I need your help. And that's exactly what I do.
That was very well done. Thank you so much. And
You're
it
welcome.
means so much to me that you did that, and it means so much to the audience. And I believe that you just saved some souls.
Oh, well, I hope so.
Yes, it's wonderful. I do want to plug something that's upcoming. As it turns out, you're a lovely singer.
Well, that was a big surprise.
And tell me a little bit what happened with our mutual friend Joe to end up with you appearing with him at the Smith Center, which is a lovely and important venue here in Las Vegas.
Well, that was truly quite a fascinating happening, because it was a last minute happening. It was a last minute gathering, I think was the name of it, and it was a lovely turnout, and so I attended, and it was very beautiful. It was very nice, and I met this very gifted, very talented, wonderful pianist, musician, singer, many other things. We're not going to get into that. But the fact of the matter is, he had this beautiful song, and he wanted me to sit next to him at the piano, and I all of a sudden started to sing, which I really normally don't do. And all of a sudden, it just all of a sudden was. And
This is like a movie.
oh my goodness, the angels.
Where did that come from?
Yes,
Yeah.
I know. It was very nice, and it was a lot of fun, and so it was actually kind of miraculous.
So on February 23rd, you'll be appearing at the Composers Showcase at Smith Center with our friend Joe.
Yes.
And others. And that particular song, you are going to join in formally. So it'll be great fun.
Yes, it will be. It'll be
Yes.
very, very exciting.
And I want to thank you so much for coming on my program. An hour has just raced by.
It did, didn't it?
It's hard to believe.
Heavens.
We've had so much fun. And I want to extend an open invitation to you anytime you want to come on.
Thank you. I'm
Please
very
do
humbled.
come and talk about your charities and what's going on in your life. And perhaps we'll talk about dentistry again a little bit.
Oh. Yeah, we love talking about dentistry. Heavens.
So Her Royal Highness Princess Anne Marie Thor Nelson joined us today, and what an honor it was. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
God
Thank you.
bless
I'm
you.
humbled.
Wow. That doesn't happen every day. And we're so pleased to have her with us. And as I try to remember each and every episode of Las Vegas Tonight to say, when it comes to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, please walk with Him. God bless you.
When you've tried all you can to accomplish your plan, there's one thing left to do. You can still stand tall with your back against the wall. Yes, I have learned
Look at me now. Look at me now. Look at me now.
Morning shine, shine, shine. Las Vegas, shine your light on me.
You've been watching Las Vegas Tonight with your host, Dale Davidson. We hope you've enjoyed this edition of our show. We so appreciate your loyalty to our program. To keep Las Vegas Tonight on the air, please go to our website, vegassaints.org, and click the Donate button. To send a check or money order, please make it out to Dale Wynn Davidson Ministries and mail it to 9030 West Sahara Avenue, Suite 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. To suggest a guest to appear on the show or any other suggestions or questions, write to Dale at dalewdavidson@yahoo.com or call him at 702-480-3989.
Shine, Las Vegas.